My name is Glenda Eoyang. I'm the founding executive director of Human Systems Dynamics Institute. And I've been working with Ajay and with his team for many years. And the underlying principle of active sense making is so consonant with and is drawn from the work of human systems dynamics that I feel like it is my voice, just in a different language.
Active sense making is a discipline method that's all about applying sense making in intricate human contexts. It's unique because it captures individual voices within an organization, community, population of interest, and at the same time uncovers broader patterns of meaning from those voices. This dual focus on personal narratives and collective patterns is what makes active sense making with the qualitative and the quantitative so invaluable.
The way active sense making works in practice is an instrument is designed, and participants are invited to contribute to that instrument, to respond to that instrument. And they respond by sharing an anecdote, an experience, a story, a short story of something that happened. So there's some prompting questions that invite them to share something that happened to them, in effect. And they can share text, they can share a picture, there's all kinds of ways they can share, but in effect, they're sharing something that happened to them, something that they saw or experienced. And then at the same time that they share that, they go on to interpret the meaning through some well-crafted, ambiguous questions that have no right or wrong answer. They're completely non-judgmental, except that the person whose story it is sharing the meaning of that experience. Whatever they shared, its meaning for them. So they're interpreting their experience at the point of entry. And then you imagine getting hundreds or thousands of these stories being shared and interpreted, and the patterns of interpretation become the quantitative data, but that quantitative data is always linked. It's never lost from its connection to the qualitative data of the story. And so patterns become evident, patterns emerge of interpretation. We see there's an interesting way that people in this community are interpreting their stories, a pattern of interpretation.
The key skills can be a wide range from, of course, the very technical, learning about the platform, learning about how to create the various steps of a study and how to use the platform to design, to implement, to analyze, and talk about the study. That's all really important stuff, and we'll walk through that. But underlying all of that, there's also just the development of the skills of humbling, of listening, of complicating. And complicating being a good word, it's being a word that we want and we want to embrace at this point. But we also want to start that fire and getting you to think about humans in a different way and understanding and engaging with humans in a different way and engaging with your group community in a different way as well. Fundamentally, those are going to be the most important skills that you develop. The platform will help you to get there, but also your desire to get there will help you to get through the platform. It all, again, comes together.
One of the first projects I was involved with had to do with leadership in a public service in the government. And they were concerned about how employees in the public service were experiencing their leadership. So you had leaders, directors, and managers, and you had employees, and what was the relationship? How were employees experiencing leadership? And historically, there had always been surveys, but it was that one is the surveys were easy to game, and they were gamed, and because everybody knew what the answers that the organization wanted, and the employees, depending if they were happy employees, they could give nice answers, and if they were unhappy employees, they could give unhappy answers. Sense making, we ended up collecting about 700 stories from 300 or 400 employees. And that, by the way, that's one of the differences, is that you share more than one story. So people are invited to share multiple stories of multiple experiences, but they're interpreted. And it became very clear through the patterns of meaning that were assigned, it became very clear how the experiences, how leadership was being experienced in the organization, and actually led to a major initiative in leadership development. So it was a very useful experience, and based on exactly what I've been saying, more patterns like that, fewer patterns like that. This is how it's being experienced, and impossible to game because there's no right or wrong answers in any of the instrument questions.
Attending the Leap with Active Sensemaking workshop would give you a stronger foundation to approach the individuals that you engage with in your professional careers, whether it is as an academic researcher or a human resources manager. Being better at approaching people, even if it's not necessarily for research purposes, but an understanding that each person you're engaging with has similarities and differences to you, has their own unique perspective that you can only truly get by communicating with them. That is a long-term benefit. Of course, we hope going in the future, going further, you're going to continue to use Spring IO and to take advantage of the tools that we are offering you. But at the very basis, the very ground level, the hope is that you come away with a better understanding for the complexity of humanity and the need for complexity in understanding and studying and engaging with humanity. Having that type of paradigm shift, that philosophical, epistemological perspective on people will benefit not just you, but the community that you are serving as well.
Every place I go, people are talking about wanting to solve intractable problems, being faced with chasms between what they know and can do and what they know they need to know and be able to do. And that chasm shows up in many fields: public health, healthcare, government, negotiations, contracting, violent extremism, climate change, environmental response, supply chain management. I mean, everywhere. People are dealing with complex issues that are larger and more broad than they have the tools to work with. So in LEAD, in this program, you'll be able to come together with other people who are facing such difficult challenges, maybe in other fields, maybe in other places. But what you'll get in this program with LEAP is an opportunity to build the skills to innovate a solution to a complex issue by doing one. So the hands-on practice is great, doing it in community is wonderful, and being able to touch tools and concepts that allow you to work in a complex future. All of those give a real power to this program.
Come with an open mind and a learner's attitude. Active sense making is both an art and a science. The theoretical aspects are crucial, and the expertise of the expertise of CarrieLynn, Glenda, Eoyang, Barrett Horne is going to be invaluable to you. Active sense making has grown out of the ability to design, collect, analyze, think carefully, collaborate, and really make sense of rich data sets. The potential impact of active sense making method and the methodology is immense. This is a beginning of a journey into a field that has the potential to radically transform how we make sense of communities, organizations, complex situations, intractable human problems. Join us.